You're watching Service Drive, exclusively on CBT News.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Welcome into another edition of Service Drive right here at CBTnews.com. Mobile service is one of the fastest growing opportunities in fixed ops today. Bozard Ford Lincoln recently hit an incredible milestone, completing more than 2,000 mobile service appointments in 1 month. That's right, 2,000. We'd like to have that in the business in just the service drive in many cases. So joining us today is Jeremy Stevens, who's the remote operations director at Bozard Ford Lincoln, to share how their team made this happen. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking the time out of what appears to be a very busy schedule, managing all these trucks on the road. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on reaching that milestone. As I said in the opening, there's a lot of service centers out there that I've spoken to that would like to have 2,000 overall, coming through the service lane, and maybe they're mobile if they've got a mobile operation. So give us a quick overview on your mobile service program and how it's structured.
Oh yeah, well, thank you for having me. And yes, we accomplished a huge record on our part, and it's a lot of process changes and trying new things and failing a lot, and then just picking yourself back up, brushing yourself off, and going back after it. And we've tried so many different scenarios, but we definitely have a service advisor team, and we have probably about 40 technicians also that's behind the scenes, pushing this side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it started about 2 years ago, and we're probably only doing about 400 a month, and we have grown that team tremendously throughout the time. Using software, we started with a spreadsheet, and
Sure.
by 26 vans, the spreadsheet was just smoking, and it was the Wild Wild West for a little bit, but we have learned so much in this 2 years period, and now.
I'd imagine.
And here's the cool thing: we just feel like we're just getting started with it, because we find new opportunity every week just around the corner and stuff. So it's been pretty cool to see it from my level, but seeing all your team develop and grow and just pushing the boundaries to see how far we could push this.
That's great. Is your position as a remote operations director, is that a unique situation? Because I have not met one from another dealership yet where they've had an actual person that is just over the mobile business.
Yes, so here at Bozard Ford, the reason I came to Bozard Ford was to help relieve shop capacity, because at one time we were 6 weeks behind in our main shop.
Wow.
And really in dealerships, what dealerships have been bad about is creating another department, but say, hey, this guy's pretty good in this department, so let's let him run two departments and see how that goes.
Yeah.
And it never takes off. So what they want to do is they just wanted another business within the dealership. So
Right.
that's why my position came about. It was started off as a service manager, but then when we started launching all these trucks, it's like this is a lot, because
Yeah.
with,
I would
with doing
say.
100 and some repair orders a day, is like there's a lot of challenges that go out there, and you're pretty much like the flight tower at an airport. It's like you see them in the mornings, and then they disappear, and you're communicating, they come back.
Sure.
So a lot of juggling pieces, and then I hire some people underneath me to help grow this with all the technicians and the advisors, and that's why that position came to be. But it wanted to be its own identity, so we could focus on the growth and success of it.
That's great. That's great. Now, you started a couple of years ago, just 2 years ago, and there were 7 vans and mobile units when you got there. How many are there today? Remind me again.
We got 38 on the road right now.
38. So that is an incredible increase. It's almost like you're adding more than one a month since you've been there. How do you make the determination as to when you add another mobile unit? Is it a situation where you're going into another market or another zip code, or walk me through that?
So what we look at is, with Bozart, we're always the leader and want to push to see how far we can go. We're always innovating. And what we found out that what we didn't want to do is just start off slow. If we're going to do it, let's go ahead and get some vans, and let's fill the vans up. So we actually bought the vans before we had the technicians, before we had the work. And what was happening is they were giving numbers. It's like, hey, you should be able to do 6 or 8 in one day. And that's very difficult when you're working on retail customers. On the fleet side, that is very manageable, but our main focus was relieving the shop capacity. So we found out when our van started doing 4 or 5 repair orders a day and travel time and stuff, it's like, okay, we need another van, because we can't serve our customer the next day basically.
Sure.
And that's how we started scaling it. So once we found out that one advisor can really manage about 4 vans, that's how we started scaling it from that point.
Okay.
And now today, we pushed the envelope again, and that's what got us over 2,000. Is we challenged our communication center. It's like, hey, how many same day appointments can you make?
Yeah.
And then we found out that we could do another 20 just by doing same day appointments. And sometimes the customers are not even ready for it. They're like, what do you mean you can be here in 4
I was
hours,
going to
three
say that.
hours? Yeah.
Yeah, so you shock them on two levels. One, you're coming out to them, and two, it's going to be today. It's like, wait a minute, what's the catch, and how much is this going to cost me, right? Because right away you think, with that kind of convenience, is it double the price, or what's the situation, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it'd be pretty cool that I could wow a customer so much that they almost faint. And it's like, maybe that's our target that we try to shoot for. Is just,
Yeah.
just see how far. But that same day appointment, what that did it equaled out to was I think we did over 250 same day appointments in a 3-week span.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it did not affect our appointments going into the main shop. So when people says they don't see opportunity in mobile service, and we probably get 2 or 3 calls praising this mobile team every day. Especially like
Isn't that great?
if you have a flat tire in the morning, your life is over at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're thinking, I can't pick my kids up, I can't go to
Right.
work. But if I can have a mobile van there in 2 hours, it's like, who are they going to buy a vehicle from?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you guys are definitely locking in future sales to Bozard Ford. That's for sure. And then, as I've said before on the show, and in fact with your leader there, Ed Roberts, who's an amazing individual in the industry, that with every van that is in a cul-de-sac or on a street or what have you, there's all of those neighbors that are going, wait a minute, I don't have my vehicle serviced like that, whether I'm driving a Volkswagen or a Chevy or what have you. So that's got to get the wheels turning of everybody that's watching this take place in the neighborhood to say, maybe my next purchase needs to be from Bozard Ford, right?
It does, and we've had to give our technicians business cards because of
Oh, I
that.
bet.
So neighbors would walk over and just ask, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
it's like, "Hey, can you service my Chevrolet?" Or it's like, "Yes, absolutely." And we got a QR code on the back of the van, and you can see them just take a picture of it and set an online appointment right there on the spot.
That's
But
great.
it never fails, no matter where we're at. I had
Right.
a technician at McDonald's, and somebody says, "Hey, can you meet me back at my house and change the oil?" And my tech's like, "Yeah, absolutely."
That's you guys are like, you got ice cream trucks running around where it's like, what do you need? We'll come over right now and fix it. That being said, what's the average number of ROs per day per truck, if you don't mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, so it kind of so ours on average varies a little bit because I have different types of vans. So my average, and it's like 3.8 jobs a day on average.
Okay.
We try to shoot for 4,
Okay.
but I have 2 tire vans,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they don't do 4 a day.
Okay.
My diagnostic team and my oil change, sometimes they can do 4 or 5 a day, and my fleet guys could do up to 20 a day. But then we also added an air conditioning van. So I got an AC machine on one of my vans, and
Oh,
he can
wow.
only probably do 1 a day. So
Okay.
all our numbers are a little bit different on average, basically.
Yeah.
But
And then some jobs like the AC unit's going to bring more hours per RO than maybe an oil change or something like that, right?
yeah, exactly. Or if
Yeah.
one of my guys gets stuck on a check engine light,
Yeah.
we're having to kind of, draw back. Is like, hey, can you take my next appointment? So a lot of shuffling. But if you're doing oil changes and recalls, you definitely can do 4 or 5 in one day,
Yeah.
depending on the logistics and travel time.
Yeah, for sure. You must be the poster child for Ford Lincoln on this because I have not spoken to any other Ford Lincoln dealer that's got 38 vehicles or more than that on the road. Are they just all over your service department every month showing other dealers that it can be done?
Yeah, that we do have a lot of dealerships that call and just ask questions because they're very curious about it because
Yeah.
they want to know how it works. And the thing is, everybody overthinks this. It's not as complicated as what you think it is. A lot of questions you get is, it's like, well, what do you do when it's in your main shop and it happens? And it's like, well, we do that. I was like, well, that's exactly what we do. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of fundamentals and doing the little things, good over the consistent part of time, and
Sure.
it all works out.
When somebody calls up to set an appointment or goes online, do you then take that lead or that call that comes in, and do you control whether or not that's going to be a mobile call or an in-store call or an in-service call? How do you decipher who's getting a truck and who's not? Is that driven by the dealership or the consumer?
So two different scenarios. So because we've been pushing mobile service for 2 years, and St. Augustine is not a huge town, and people still don't know that there's mobile service out there. So when they call, um, we always pitch mobile service first.
Okay.
And some people absolutely want it, and some people are a little, well, I don't know about that, my HOAs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we give the customer a choice on that.
Yeah.
If they go online, they can choose mobile or main shop, and we're tweaking some online stuff presence with our website now
Okay.
to kind of be more streamlined.
Okay.
And then from that point, with the communication center, our routing software, which is Spiffy, it'll kind of tell us the best route for that job to go on our van. So it kind of some software behind the scenes that kind of tease our drivers up.
Okay. And is that software offered or driven by Ford Lincoln, or is that a third party?
This is a third-party
Third party.
software
Okay.
that we chose to use. There's a lot out there, and we kind of partnered with Spiffy on that because
Okay.
they pretty much rate their software to build it around a Ford dealership and our processes and stuff. So it's been working out real good for us.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. And then when these customers are totally blown away, I'm sure they go online and then give you some great reviews, right? The fact that you just went out to their home or business. You'll go to businesses as well, right, to fix their.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go wherever they are, and we usually average anywhere from 150 to 180 perfect surveys from mobile service.
Wow.
And I was in the communication center earlier this week and just over listening to the phone calls, and we had a customer that's like, "Hey, when is Nathan's next available appointment? Because I want him to come back to my house and change the oil in my vehicle," and which is phenomenal
Right.
for your customers to remember your technician names,
Right.
and they had such an effect that they want that technician back,
Yeah. Are
and
they
we hear that quite often.
are the technicians being offered tips? Because I would imagine like people might want to say, "Hey, here's $20. Thanks for coming out," and just not being used to the whole setup.
They do, and there's like a little internal challenge, the most craziest tip that you can get, and what the crazy one is, a customer actually dug up a small fruit tree and gave it to one of my technicians. Um, so that was the most bizarre one. So it's
That's
the
crazy.
customers absolutely love it.
That's great. How do you ensure the same level of quality control and customer experience with mobile service as you do inside the dealership?
It is that is a challenge because we see these guys in the morning and then they're out in today. But we look for different characteristics in our employees and stuff like that. A lot of technicians on our mobile, they've worked in our quick lane before, so we know their personality, that
Yeah.
we know that they're friendly, and we always talk about, because anybody can do mobile service, but what makes us different is that what do we do differently? You know, it's
Right.
that what's that plus one that we offer, and our guys will do about anything. It's like, hey, and we always tell them, it's like, hey, is there anything else we can do while I'm here? And a lot of customers take them up on that. It's like, hey, my phone's not connected. They have some random questions that they never had a chance to talk to a technician.
Right.
And and even I challenge her. It's like, hey, if a bulb's blown out on their front porch, let's do that. Just do something so unique and odd that you'll create that memory that lasts forever with them. And we've helped eliminate rodents in garages, whether it's snakes or whatever. So there's a bunch of crazy stories that gets that gets tossed around.
That is really something. And also, as you know, when people are taking delivery of their new car, they're so excited. They're not listening to the salesperson or the delivery person go over all the electronics in the car and all of the technology. You know, they'll just, oh yeah, okay, I'll take care of that when I get home, and they never do. And then they try to do something on their screen, and they're like, what did they say? How did that work? You know, and then of course they're. You know, so I'm sure that comes in handy too when that first service comes about and the technician's there in their driveway with a whole laundry list of, hey, go over the car with me one more time. Let me ask you this, right?
And that happens quite often.
Yeah.
And you win so many customers by able just to toggle the screen, basically. It's like, I'm tired of looking at my tire pressures on my dash. How do I
Right.
change it? back to the space. And within like 2 seconds, it's like you do this, and the customer's like blown away. And it's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, thank you. I've been struggling with that for 2 weeks now.
That's great. I'm one of those guys that's got, when we had VCRs, the 12 o'clock flashed all day, the whole time.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm aging myself there, aren't I? But so what's next for like what do you look for down the road at Bozard with regard to mobile service? What's the end play? What's the goal?
So we've been really thinking about that because now that we relieved our shop capacity, what's next for us? And we have some opportunity on our fleet side. And so that's what we're pushing for our next year goal is
Okay.
let's get our fleet business up to about 50% of what we already do now.
Okay.
But then also, how can we maximize the existing fleet vans without me buying more? And that's what we're talking about. It's like, well, we could work in shifts where I can leave that van running and swap technicians and hit a second shift. So
Yeah.
we're going in that realm to see if there's any opportunities with fleet, like at the end of the day,
Okay.
overnight. We've done some overnight jobs before, and it worked out pretty good. So we're just trying to see if there's some opportunity out that way.
All right. Well, how many days a week do the vehicles run?
So Monday through Friday, and we have 6 vans on Saturdays that operate. So
Wow.
we're 6 days a week right now.
Wow, that's great. The hardest working remote operations director in the country, Jeremy Stevens at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here at CBT News on Service Drive. We appreciate it. Love to do a follow-up with you because this is an exciting time in the car business, specifically in the area of remote operations and service. A lot of dealers are going to be watching this, taking notes, maybe even calling you. But then there's a lot of dealers that are actually have jumped into this and said, yeah, we're offering remote service as well. I haven't heard one dealer that has been, upset with themselves by jumping into it. Everyone has said, some have said, hey, we're still trying to figure it out, but we know that this is the future. But most of them have reported that it's definitely working for them and adding more dollars to the bottom line, more ROs written, more customer paid labor. And it also frees up the master techs in the service department to take care of the really important jobs, right?
Yeah, for sure. And more of that, how easy is it your salesperson to sell a car when we offer mobile service? And
That's
and
right.
that's been a huge opportunity on also.
It's doing wonders for variable ops for sure. And hopefully you remind them of that because as you know, the variable ops sales department doesn't give service department enough credit in this whole deal, right? Jeremy, thank you so much. Really appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for watching Service Drive, exclusively on CBT News.